So who wants to be 90? People who are 89. Every morning I get the Times Union and I read Peanuts first, and then the front page, and then the obituary pages. And these days I know almost nobody who is freshly dead. When I was 75 and 80 and reading the obits, I knew almost everybody. I Googled 90 and found out it's the new 85. I suppose 5 years ago, 85 was the new 80, but I took no notice of that. 90, however, is a milestone for calculation. At the last census, 2010, the U.S. population of 90-year-olds has nearly tripled in 10 years, from 720,000 to 1.9 million. Why was this happening? And why me? Well, Sweden, one of my favorite countries in the world, studied 855 men born in 1913. They examined them at age 50 and again at 90, and they found that 111 survivors were non-smokers who drank little coffee, had low blood pressure, low cholesterol, worked to maximum capacity, and paid a lot of money for their homes. How do I match up with these prognostic variables? Well, I smoked for 14 years and was inhaling 3 packs a day when I quit forever on November 7, 1976 at 4:15 p.m. From my days in Puerto Rico in the 50s to about 2009, I'd have 2 or 3 black double espressos for breakfast until I developed arrhythmia and moved to weak decaf. I had high blood pressure for years until I tamed it with a pill. My cholesterol for decades was in the 250s and 280s, and it wouldn't come down, not even with a rotten, no fat, no butter, no bacon diet that was concocted in the dark of night by the gangster sugar industry to put the blame for heart attacks and strokes on fat instead of sugar. The real culprit was sugar. Then I went on the Atkins diet, and I quit sugar, cut back on carbs, ate unlimited bacon, took a statin pill, and my cholesterol plummeted to 145, which is the range of Olympic cholesterol champions. So I got around to conforming to most of those Swedish variables, and in the past, I mean, I could talk about my high cost of my home, which I got as a bargain, but I was so broke that it wasn't a bargain. It was horrible. And the work, you know, and the maximum capacity, teaching and writing. I used to spend 16, 18 hours a day in calls, all kinds of wrenchings of the body, but when I was sitting still at the desk, writing and teaching. Wait a minute. I got around to conforming, oh yeah. But listen, I did survive, and that's so... I've written 2 more novels since I've been, in the last 15 years, after 75. So I've written 2 more novels, 2 plays, and a screenplay. And I've watched the Writers Institute turn into something wonderfully different from what we've known in recent years. I think the Institute is now operating at a new peak of excellence. Our program for the fall and upcoming spring semesters is genuinely smashing. Patti LuPone, Salman Rushdie, Just Jen, Garth Fagan, Cokie Roberts, plus last October, Bob Schieffer and a slate of journalists, writers, and scholars who conducted a 2-day exploration of fake news, the First Amendment, and the embattled American press in our symposium, Telling the Truth in a Post-Truth World. We're also doing more co-sponsorships with the university departments and community institutions we ever did. And we're back to the pleasant problem of coping with overflow crowds. Then there's tonight, which we have heard has brought bundles of big bucks into our exchequer. $111,000. That's a bank robbery total. And they want to build an endowment, et cetera. But we got to thank the Friends of Writing for this, because this is a group we put together about a year and a half ago, maybe, I don't know exactly the date, to raise money because we didn't have any. And so we rounded up this terrific bunch of people, like Catherine Gibson, who was here. She organizes us all. And Karen Hitchcock, and Marion Roach Smith, wherever she is. And Langdon Brown, who's in Florida, and Sean Casey, who's here someplace, and Brendan Kennedy, my son, who proved to be such a sneak to have created that movie. I never knew anything about that movie. I didn't know what was going on. What a sneak he turned out to be. You never know what you're raising children. And Cecilia Lowenstein from the university, Albany's Foundation, which is our banker and promoter, and Mary Valentis and her husband John, who are playing our music tonight, and benefactors here, and then Jim Rua, who I've been hanging out in this saloon for, I don't know, since 35 years, was it? I don't know how long. Whenever he opened his doors, that's when I came in. And I've been eating that incredible, it's a dangerous place to eat because when he puts food on a table, you tend not to stop eating it. And then you keep eating. You could go in a corner and explode, and nobody will ever see you again. You just disappear. This is one of the grand restaurants in the history of the world, and I just think that he's and our two great stalwarts, Suzanne Lance and Mark Koplik. Jesus, there's no way to talk about those people. They're so fantastically great. How they held the carcass of the universe, the institute together when we were falling apart, old bones falling into the sidewalk. So, and then Paul Grondal, our new there he is our new ringmaster, and you know what he's doing? I mean, he's doing backflips, trapeze acts, and holding the lions and the tigers at bay with great panache. I mean, he's doing things that he didn't even know he could do, and then certainly we didn't know he could do. We thought he could do it. We thought he could do something. I mean, we knew he was so great as a figure and a writer and all that, but goddamn, I mean, and our staff, which is this incredible staff, which is so savvy about this digital world that we're moving into, and I've been trying to move into for about 2 years, but what do I know? I couldn't move a checker. Anyway, personally, I think the Writers Institute right now is a hot number. I think we're sassy, and I think we're unpredictable. And that's a great feeling to have about an institution. I just think that I'm just very grateful to the whole gang who is here, including all the donors. Oh my God, I mean, that bank robbery we pulled off. And Mary and everybody and John and Jimmy putting us all together to announce to the world tonight that I'm no longer 90. I am no longer 89. I beg your pardon. Anyway, the writer Philip Roth And then it was in the news again today, confirming that his decision 5 years ago, or maybe 7 years ago, when he was 79 or 78, he decided to quit writing forever. And he said that it still stands today. He won't write another word. I'm not sure that's true, but you can't believe a writer. They're all liars. But I haven't quit yet, and I'm not sure I ever can. I'm writing what may or may not turn into something. And it'll keep me wired with authorial anxiety on into what's left of my foreseeable future, or until, quote, my synaptic convergences start to wane, unquote, as my friend Joel Moss, the poet, once said. And I think that anxiety is another diagnostic variable that contributes to all writers' longevity. And some of them don't have much long in their longevity. Alas. But all that said, now I just want to offer a toast. A toast. I can't begin to respond positively. Wait a minute. I can't even read my notes that I took on that movie. I can't get over what a sneak my son is. But anyway, all right, let's bite the bullet. I would like to say something more meaningful about what was just put on the screen, but I can't. I'm just not equal to it. I have to go home and look at my notes. I'm a reporter after all, I mean, you can't write a story without looking at your notes. If you do, you're writing fake news. So I'm going to sign off here with one of the best lines out of any of my books. And it comes when Billy Phelan, the pool and poker hustler, is asked if he'll have a drink. And he replies, "The last time I refused a drink, I didn't understand the question." Hear, hear, please toast.